Hello there. It's your girl Valerie Mason Chase again, and welcome to another episode of Marriage Beyond the Breach. So, as I said at the beginning of the month, in honor of Black History Month, each week that I am streaming my podcast, I am going to have a t shirt on with the name of one of our historical figures. Now, I started a couple of weeks, this is the third week. So I want to encourage those of you, if you're not familiar, if you don't know who Claudette Colvin is, if you don't know Patricia Bath, if you're not familiar with Homer Plessy, I encourage you to do some research and learn about these individuals. But don't stop there. I want to encourage you to continue to dig deep into our history, the history of Black Americans. And I don't think that there is a time where something like that is not needed more. Because there is, at least from my perspective, and I'm sure there are those who would not agree, but from my perspective, there is a concerted effort not just to diminish our history, but to erase it as if it doesn't exist, as if we don't exist. But we are here and we have a history and we have a culture and it is rich. And we need to know that so that we can pass it on to our children and our grandchildren. You know, the thing that really strikes me when it comes to Black Americans and just Black history in general, when I think about our ancestors, I never forget whose shoulders that I'm standing on. It doesn't escape me that I'm here and able to have a podcast as a Black woman in America because of the ancestors, because of the challenges that they face and the obstacles they face and the work that they did. So I never, ever want to lose sight of that. And the thing that gets me is for many, if not most of our ancestors, those who bled, those who died, those who sacrificed, did so knowing that they themselves would never live to benefit from some of the rights and the privileges that we are allowed to walk in today. They knew that they would never live to benefit from it, but they did it anyway. And they didn't do it for themselves because they know that there's a generation that follows them. So I want us to keep in mind that there is a generation that follows us and one that follows and follows and follows and follows, because as long as there are those of us who are around and are alive, our history will never die. It can't die. Why? Because I am Black history. You are Black history. Your children, their Black history, your grandchildren and great-grandchildren never die, no matter how hard they try to erase it, no matter how hard they try to suppress it. We have a voice and we need to use it. So if you don't know, what did Biggie Smalls say? If you don't know, now you know. You know who Claudette Colvin is, I hope. I hope you have learned who Homer Plessy is. I hope you have learned who Patricia Bath is, and just so on and so on and so on, because I could wear someone's name on a t-shirt every day of the year, and it would only begin to scratch the surface of our history. So I just want to encourage you to just continue on. You know, I'm a little passionate about that. It means a great deal to me as a Black woman in America. So anywho, let's get into our subject tonight. What are we going to be talking about? Tonight's episode is entitled Sisters and Secrets. And what we're going to do, we're going to reflect on a question that many of us may have faced, but maybe we rarely talk about it out loud. And that question is, when a sister or close friend trusts you with something deeply personal, does that confidence stay between the two of you forever? Or does being in a committed relationship change the rules? So let's get into it. And since we're talking about sisters and secrets, who better for me to have one tonight than my own sister, my baby sis, my ride or die, my number one fan, and so on and so on. My number one supporter, I should say, not fan, because she's not a fan, she's a supporter. My number one supporter. And I want to bring her on tonight. So, okay, don't get your panties in a bunch, Cookie Man, because you're 1A and she's 1B. Okay, so both of y'all is number one. So I always have to give that disclaimer. Otherwise, when the podcast is over, I have a lot to answer to the Cookie Man. So I'm going to bring on my baby sis, Jacqueline V. Lawrence. Hey, sis.
Hey, sis. That's right. Let Cookie Man know he number one. Hello, everybody. We are so glad that you joined us. Yep.
I always got to give that disclaimer because you know how your other-in-law
I
is,
sure enough
okay?
do. That's for sure.
So you've been here many times before, but there may be somebody watching for the first time who was not familiar with you. So talk about yourself, whatever you may want the viewers to know about you.
Let's see. I'm a mom. I'm a grandmother. I'm a sister. I love the Lord. I do have
Mm,
Lifeline Prayer Ministry on Instagram, and what that is I know that I have been called to pray. I'm a prayer warrior, and so I believe in
mhm,
that wholeheartedly. You can always send me a message, and I will pray for you. I don't have to know you, but if it's something specific, I also have Lifeline Prayer Ministry on Facebook. You can send me a message
mhm,
there. I also have
mhm.
Jackie's Inspirational Corner on YouTube, and that's where I guess I call it a mini sermon, even though I told God a long time ago I don't ever want to be a pastor.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
I do love teaching the Word of God, and I do love sharing with people.
Yeah,
That's who I am. That's the call on my life, and just want to be obedient.
just want to be obedient. And there's something about being obedient to God and what He places before us and the direction He gives us and what He
Mhm.
puts on our heart to do. There's something about that. And at least from my perspective, and I think you will agree, that it does not come without its challenges. Just
No,
because it's from God don't mean it's going to be easy. Don't mean that there
absolutely.
won't be obstacles that will be needed to overcome. It just means that we persevere because we know where we got this word from.
Yep.
And that compels us to continue to go forward.
Absolutely.
Amen
Absolutely.
and amen. So
Yeah.
John said he came for a podcast and got a sermon.
Hey,
That's my
Jono.
son. Hey, Jono. Thank you for watching, my son. I love you, baby. So, sis, let's get right into this.
Okay.
When someone says, don't tell anyone after they have shared confidence with you, what do we often, or what might we assume that means? And how accurate do you think that assumption is? Whatever that you think the assumption is.
Well, if someone tells me don't tell anyone, my assumption is just that. Keep it to
Hmm,
myself. It's
hmm,
between
hmm.
me and whoever said it to me.
Yeah,
Um, and that's just what it is. You take for what it's worth and say, okay, I'm not telling anybody. Keep it to yourself. Like you said earlier, ride or die. My sister has secrets that she will never, ever, ever, ever tell anybody about
absolutely.
me.
And
Right.
likewise.
And likewise, there you go. So if somebody tells you, if someone trusts you enough
Hmm,
to
hmm.
be that vulnerable with you and to have that much confidence in you, they have to take that seriously. It's not a joke.
It's not a joke.
Hmm.
You are, I agree with you 100% when somebody says don't tell anyone. Um, Now, that's when you are on the receiving end of someone saying don't tell anyone.
Hmm.
But let's say it's not me and you, and it is someone else, and you say to that individual, don't tell anyone. Do you still assume that that person's not going to tell? Do you have confidence that that person won't tell?
Well, see, that's the thing. I won't. I don't say that to everybody
Mm-hmm.
because I don't believe that me saying don't tell anyone that won't happen. So I don't make the same assumption.
Yeah.
However, I'm mature enough to know be careful who you tell stuff to. Because if you don't want
Right.
anybody to know, you best keep it to yourself unless you have
Right.
someone that you know you can trust wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. I agree. I read many times that a secret is not a secret if you tell one person, because some
There you go.
things, listen, some things is between me and God, okay?
And that's it. Hmm.
And that's it. And some
Yep.
things is between me, God, and my sister.
Yes, indeed.
And some things is between me, God, and the person I did it with.
That's very true now.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then when that happens, you just got to pray that the other person,
Hmm.
knows how to keep a secret as well. But,
Hmm.
I read if one other person other than God knows, it's not a secret
It's not a
anymore.
secret. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I agree. It really depends. And I think we have to be very, 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 very careful who we trust with
Right.
certain information. I think that's why it's important to know where someone fits in your life.
Yes. Right.
Just like I say, oh, Emmy says, "Hey, Aunt
I
Jackie."
said,
So, what was I about to say? See, talk about my grandchildren, and I just get all discombobulated.
I
Um,
know.
I
You were
forgot what
talking
I was.
about knowing what pretty much what role
Oh,
plays in your life.
yes, and you think about the Jesus model. Jesus had his inner circle. He had Peter, James, and John. He had the rest of the disciples,
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the 12. He had, in
Mm-hmm.
some scriptures, talked about 70, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
the crowd. And
Mm-hmm.
each group of people had a different level of access to him
Mm-hmm.
and had a different type of relationship with him. And I think we could benefit from using the Jesus model, because sometimes Jesus had three. I don't need but one.
There you
And-
go.
you
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. Because and even when we were coming up, and even more so now with the generation behind us,
Hmm.
oh, I have so many friends. Oh, I have so many followers. No, everybody's not a friend. People are associates,
Absolutely.
right? And
Absolutely.
we have to be, like you said, we have to be very careful who we
Hmm.
allow into our inner
Hmm.
circle.
Hmm. Yeah.
I can count mine on one hand and still have some fingers left over.
And have fingers left over.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk. What about confidentiality between sisters or close friends? Is it absolute, 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 or is it situational? Or are there situations where you might step outside of that confidentiality?
That's a good question. I'd have the only exception if you're concerned about that person doing harm to themselves.
Yeah.
Other than that, you don't step out.
Hmm.
You don't step out of that. No, that's the
Yeah.
only reason for me.
Yeah.
If I thought that you were doing something detrimental where you were going to hurt yourself, then yeah,
Hmm.
I tell
Hmm.
Frankie in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Or if you thought I was going to do something to hurt him,
Well, true that too.
you'd have to say something, because
Right,
it's not just about that person hurting themselves, but if,
hurting
let's
someone
say,
else.
back when you and Russell were married, and if I knew that you had a firearm in the house and you were talking about shooting
Hmm.
him in the head or something like that, and I really believed that you were serious about doing it, knowing that you had a weapon in the house, as much as I love you, I also have to protect you from yourself, because
Absolutely,
that could end you up where you don't want to be.
absolutely.
So yeah, and that regard, those situations, I do think that it is warranted to step
Hmm.
outside of confidentiality. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we're
So,
obligated.
oh
We have an
yeah,
obligation.
we have an obligation to do
Hmm.
that. We have an obligation. And likewise, if it is, um this is not just about confidentiality. I don't know why this came to mind. If someone who's really close to us talked about that they've harmed their child in a way that is inappropriate. They've done something inappropriate to the child. Yeah.
Then
We
we,
got
yeah,
we got to step
we have an
outside the bounds
obligation.
of confidentiality with that as
Absolutely.
well.
Absolutely.
So let's think about for a minute. What might there be in terms of a cost to a relationship if you share a friend's or a sister's secret with the spouse, even with good intentions?
Well, the question, other than what the examples that we just gave,
Hmm.
why would
Hmm.
you be sharing a sister secret even with your spouse? Because it ain't none of their
Right,
business,
right.
right? So
Absolutely.
outside of, again, something where someone may hurt themselves, or you think that they're going to
Hmm.
hurt someone else, you confidentiality is what it is,
Right.
right? Now I know us coming up, we knew that. But
Hmm.
now everybody just do this all the time. The way that things are posted, oh, social media has its advantages, but it also has its disadvantages.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and a lot of people today, they don't understand the difference, right?
I know.
And
Yeah.
it's sad. So you again, it all goes back to knowing, who you trust, who you can't
Hmm.
trust, and just keeping some things to yourself. And other than, again, if there's danger, you
Hmm.
don't tell it to anybody,
You don't
even
tell
your
it to
spouse.
anyone. Absolutely. So, speaking of spouses, the cookie man is not sitting here next to me tonight, but I do want to bring him on and ask him a question. I don't know if you're ready, cookie man. I hope you are, because I'm about to bring you on anywho. If you're not, you better say something. So I'm about to bring you on. Okay, here he comes.
What up? What
Hey,
up? What up,
baby.
folks? Hello.
How you doing?
Depends what the question gonna be.
Uh-oh.
Okay, hold up for a minute. I'm getting an echo because you're too close to me.
Okay. Where I need to go? My car.
Mute yourself right quick, and maybe either go in our bedroom or because there's too much echo and feedback.
I don't even know how to mute. Why?
Look at him. Look at that tall drink of water. Oh, look at him.
All right.
I should have just muted him myself.
I didn't see no mute. I didn't see no
Okay,
mute
that's
button.
I know it's there when technology.
Leave my brother-in-law alone.
Listen, I think Eli can work tech, and
Probably.
Eli's only 4.
Listen,
So I'm
these
going to
kids,
ask you,
they have
Frank.
one up on us.
Let's. Oh, they know all the technology. So let's
Mhm.
say you could tell that there was something troubling me, and when you asked me, Val, what's going on, and you thought it had something to do with me, and I said to you, no, it's not about me. I just just it's me and Jackie. There's something between. I have a concern regarding my sister, but it's not some talk about. How willing would you be to accept that? How would you feel if I said that to you?
Um,
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
I'm gonna be pissed because Jackie is Jackie. If you had told me that about
Mhm.
someone you work with, okay, I can let that slide off my shoulder and I think about it. But now seeing your
Mm.
concern affects
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
And now I'm concerned and I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to feel left out. And it would be a hard thing to process. How can you not share what's going on with your sister, especially if it's health wise or with the kids or something like that? Now, I don't necessarily agree with not
Mm.
telling me something that's concerning you about your sister. Now, like you said, back in the day, or maybe now, I don't know. If y'all out there doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, and then you don't want to tell me. I can probably let that go. But if it's affecting you to the
Yeah.
point where I can see it and it's affecting her, I'm not so easy
Mm.
to say no. You have to tell me. And depending again what it is, I don't
Okay.
think sis would mind if you told me.
Well, it depends. But see, first of all, if Jackie tells me something and she says, Val, keep it to yourself, don't tell anybody. To me, anybody is anybody, and that includes you. If my
No,
sister
no.
tells me, don't tell anybody, anybody is anybody. Now,
Hold on.
I hear what you're saying, but I have
I didn't
to
say it
honor.
yet. I didn't say it. When
Okay,
she
go
says
ahead.
anybody, see a situation like that, you always tell me you have to be very clear and specific. I'm not just anybody. So if I'm
Well,
not to
you
Yeah.
be
got a
put
point.
in the
Yeah.
loop, she says to you, Val, don't tell anybody, including
Hmm.
Frankie.
Hmm.
She need to say that.
Okay.
Because she don't
Right.
say that. I said, well, Val, did she say not me? Well, she said not anybody. I'm not anybody.
Well, you
So
got a point there.
That,
Oh, listen to my
valid
husband.
point,
That's my
Frankie.
so
husband, yo.
Yeah.
I need to know. So now you know.
That's a good point. And you know what? I want to think back to Frank. You and I have talked about this, and we've talked about it amongst other people as well. So I don't think you would mind me sharing this. My mother-in-law
Mm,
was
mm,
first diagnosed with cancer. She told me, but she didn't want me to tell Frank. Because she was diagnosed and she was declining quickly. She tried very hard to keep it a secret. I don't remember how I found out. I might have just gone to the house and I saw her and she ended up telling me. But she said, don't tell Frank. And I said to her, I said, Ma, I said, I can't do it. I said, because God forbid you die. Frank knows that I knew that you had been diagnosed with cancer and I didn't tell him, he would never, ever
mm,
forgive me. And I said to her, I
mhm.
said, I want to respect your request. But I said, I understand how you're feeling and everything, but I'm gonna give you a couple of weeks. But if you haven't told him by a couple of weeks, I have to tell him. And then either she called you or Robert, who was her husband at the time, called you. I don't know. How did you end up going to her house, Frank? I don't remember how you ended up
I don't. You might have said you need to go see your mother or something like that because I hadn't seen her in a
there.
while. So you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind
So,
of secret, yeah, that kind of stuff would have
mhm,
caused serious rift for us.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
like
It would
family do
have.
that all the
I
time.
don't think we did.
Family does
Yeah,
that
sorry.
all
Go
the
ahead, babe.
time. Something's going on. Family does that all the time. Something's going on, and they don't want to. They don't want to share outside. Let's say their immediate circle. Meaning, what I mean by that, maybe whomever they might be living in the house with. Well, don't tell so and so. Don't tell. Keep that to yourself. And uh, that's tough to
Well,
deal with.
yes, but Frank, there have
Mm-hmm.
been times when you have been in the emergency room and you asked me not to tell the children. And I said, oh, heck no, I'm telling all three of them and the
Yeah,
grandchildren too. I'm telling everybody.
yeah, but that's not.
Because you
That's not.
tell me, Val, don't go telling the children. Don't go tell. And I said, I'm telling them.
Yeah, but see, you're not. You're telling in a sense not of concern. You snitching on me because I might not have listened. So you want them all to get on me, and I ain't ready to hear that. That's what you doing. You're not sharing that information. Listen, your father's not well. No, listen. Your father being a
Mm,
blank blank so and so again. So I'm telling everybody on.
yeah,
That's different. But anyway, we digress.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, that's true. Sometimes, especially where illness is concerned, we say, well, don't tell this one and don't tell that because I don't want them to worry. Oh, but sometimes you got to weigh that against how that person is
Yeah.
going to feel when they find out. What are your thoughts on that, sis?
No, yeah, Frankie's right. You need something like that. We do need to share. And as Frankie, as you were
Mm,
talking about, Frankie's mom. There was a secret for 27 years.
Ah.
And that secret finally came out, right? And
Yeah.
so
Right.
it it was painful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At first it wasn't, right? It was like, brush it off. Had I have known earlier, things may have
Yeah.
been different, right?
Been
And
different.
so
Yeah.
it, we have to be careful when someone
Mm-hmm.
says don't tell anybody, or this is a secret.
Right.
How is it going to affect that person later on in life,
Right.
right? Because that messed me up quite a bit, actually,
I
right? So
get it.
yeah, we have
Yeah.
to be careful now. And when
And
it comes to health,
families,
go ahead, Val.
that's different. Yeah. But families keep secrets all the time. And here's the thing, they don't stay secrets forever. Now, it may build in the lifetime of the person who says, let's keep it a secret, but eventually it's going to come. Just as you
Mhm.
said, sis, things could have transpired very, very differently. I think
Mhm.
relationships would have been very different. There
Mhm.
would have been an opportunity to form different relationships had that secret come out earlier.
Mhm. I
But
agree.
yeah, but families do that, and I don't know, maybe because I've always been, Frank called me a snitch, maybe because I've always been a snitch and a kind of a tattletale even as a child. I don't like families keeping secrets like that.
Mhm.
Um, and I got flack for
I
that.
know.
You know,
This
sometimes
particular secret.
sometimes I might think another way to phrase it, some secrets or information is age appropriate. You know, you might have to
Yeah.
keep something from someone
Mm,
because they don't have the maturity or the mindset
yeah.
to
Mhm.
comprehend and handle it. You only
Mhm.
hope that you get an opportunity to share that secret slash information with the persons or
Hmm.
the people before they find out on their own, because them
Mhm.
finding out on their own won't
It's
be
worse.
delivered with the sense of maybe sorrow, the sense of care if they
Mhm.
found out by someone else.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that resentment is, well, I found out from the person around the block when you knew this all along.
Mhm.
And like anything else, when a story is delivered by a third party, it is quite different than if it was
Very
delivered
different.
in person by the person that says they love you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of Karamo Brown. He has the Karamo show, and I see almost weekly at least 2 or 3 episodes where people are finding out secrets that were
Mhm.
held in the family. Just the other day there was a secret that had been kept for 40 years in terms of family lineage and paternity and that sort of thing. And it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking when something like that occurs. Frank, why are you shaking your head? You know something?
Because, because, as I said to you before,
Yeah.
that now for me, that's about ratings. Because now you're sharing someone's secret, not Karamo doing it individually in their home. You airing that on TV for a million people to see it. I don't
I
agree
get
with
it.
that. It's all about ratings, sensationalizing stuff. To me,
Yes.
at the detriment of the person who's not hearing it. Because now they got to sit there and say, well, damn, now the whole freaking world knows.
But
Nah,
here's
I
the
don't
thing
like
with
it.
that. No, here's the thing, babe. Karamo doesn't go out and lasso these people and bring them in. They
Right.
are
Exactly. Yeah.
almost all of them right into the show because they want to have the DNA work done
Hmm.
so they can
Okay.
find out. Is it what do you say, rating a part of it? Yeah, I I cannot deny that. But those individuals call his show and say, well, I think Jane Brown around the corner that I grew up with, that she and I are related. I would like to have DNA to check to see if we're sisters or we're cousins or if there's some sort of family connection. So actually, I applaud these individuals for having the courage to do it um, in a type of forum. Now, what it
Mm,
does, it reveals the people who kept the secret. It pulls the covers off of them. They're the ones who
Mhm.
should have the shame. If I'm finding out at 40 years old that I have a sister or I have a brother, or that
Mhm.
I thought Jimmy was my father, but it turns out to be Johnny, that's not my shame to carry.
Right.
That's the other people who kept that
Mhm.
secret. So I applaud them for that courage, because it's not
yeah,
easy to take that step to find out if you are have other blood relatives than the ones that your mother, supposed mother or supposed father told you about.
Right.
mm, yeah. I mean, I understand
So,
that, but I don't know. I still think if I call in and again, it's an assumption. I'm sure there's some monetary stuff being, you know what, we would like to air your stuff. You need to sign this agreement or we're going to pay you to do it. And some people still, they make the choice to put themselves on TV. I get that.
They make the
mhm.
Okay.
choice,
All right.
absolutely, yeah. And those who are coming to his show from out of town, because his show is filmed in, is it
I think it's
Connecticut? Yeah, I
Connecticut.
gotta ask Adele because we went to
I
his
think it's
studio. It's
Connecticut.
filmed in
Mhm.
Connecticut. So if they're coming from California, of course the show's going to pay their airfare and all that. But listen, we're getting off topic. We're talking
Okay.
about
All right.
uh, well, we're not really off topic because that's being
Mhm.
revealed um, as well. I think you wanted me to bring you on and release you so that you could go and watch whatever sporting event. Am I frozen?
You were.
Yes, you are.
I
I
love
love you,
you.
Frankie.
I think I'm okay now.
All right, ladies. See ya.
All right.
What is that? No, no, honey, you, baby, you. He doing a one hand like a claw.
Listen, I know how
You got to do this.
I
cause
saw.
my I was I know how to make a heart, but my phone was being held in my other hand. That's
Okay,
why I
okay.
did the half.
I forgot. Okay, well, I'll
See.
do the
Instead
other
of
half.
jumping on me, and listen. See, I was about to say
Okay,
that.
I'm gonna have to. I
Is
know. I'm taking you off. Bye, bye,
hold on,
Felicia.
hold on, hold on.
Yeah, baby.
What I was
Yeah.
trying to say, like, since what you were supposed to do is like the pendant hanging from a particular person's neck. I got
Oh,
half.
put the other.
You put the other
Oh, I'll
half.
put the other
No, but
half.
you want to get on my case live and in color. You want to get on my case later for you. I'm outie.
Bye,
Bye.
baby. I'll see you later. That man is crazy. Oh,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, but there are a lot of families that keep a lot of secrets, sis.
Yeah. Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I
But
think
you know.
20, 25, 30 years from now, there's going to be a whole lot of things revealed because, especially the way individuals are having children nowadays, this one and 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 this one. So there's a lot that's going to be coming out
Yeah.
uh,
Hmm.
in years to
Absolutely.
come.
Because people you don't know who your people are.
You don't know who your people are.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, how do you differentiate between privacy, secrecy, and protection? How can we, or how might we differentiate between those three?
Hmm. How do? Okay, so I'm going to start with protection,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because we talked about that earlier. If you know something about me, or I'm going to hurt myself, or I'm going to hurt someone else, or I've hurt somebody else, you have to protect me from myself, right? So that's something that may have to be shared. Privacy is, I'm talking to my sister, and it's between me and my sister and nobody else, right? And secrecy is sort of under on the same line as that.
Right.
Except, is that secret going to hurt someone else?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like
Is it going to
Frank
hurt
even said
someone
it.
else?
If there's a secret and somebody else tells that person, is that going to hurt them?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head, because in certain situations there is an expectation of privacy, but not secrecy.
Right.
But then secrecy kind of takes it, to another level.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even when it comes to counseling, when I have a first session with the client, we talk about confidentiality, but I also review the exceptions to confidentiality. And there are exceptions, if there's harm, or we anticipate that there's harm to that client or someone else. And, in certain court proceedings, if this is subpoena, we have to comply. That sort of thing. And I don't know if other counseling practices do this, but at Mending Hearts, excuse me, we have what's called a no secrets policy that couples who come into counseling sign and agree to.
Okay.
And here's why. Because many times, especially in my case, and other clinicians as well, we counsel a couple, but we also counsel either one or both clients individually. And sometimes in the individual session, they may say something that they haven't said in the couple session, and now they want to keep it a secret. Well, we want to respect their confidentiality. But if you tell me something in your individual session that you haven't shared in the couple session, and then expect me to remember what you said when we're in the couple session, and I have 25 or 30 other clients, I may not remember what you said, and that you don't want to share it in the couple session. So what we say to them is, listen, I am strongly encouraging you for you to bring this out in the couple session. Okay. Now, if it's, let's say hypothetically, they share in the individual session that they are involved in an extramarital affair. Well, first of all, I'm not going to continue couples counseling with you if you're engaged in extramarital affair. Okay. Now, I will have one more session where you can share with your spouse, because I want to give you support as you share this information. But we're not going to go forward in these couple sessions after you done told me, you got a side piece. What's the point?
Right. Because you're wasting time.
You're wasting time. You're wasting your time, my time, and your money.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So yeah, when couples come in, we have them sign a no secrets policy, because Dr. Danita says it's an unrealistic expectation for the clinician to remember every single thing that is said to them in the couple session, or in the individual session, that they didn't share in the couple session. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I had never heard of that before. Yeah,
I would tell it all. Not intentionally, but like you said, you can't remember. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because I start talking and be like, "Well, did you know this and that?" Oh yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And usually it is unintentional, because I don't believe that any clinician sets out to divulge information in a couple session that was shared in an individual session.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, we have that policy over at Mending Hearts.
That's good.
So let's talk about this. How can sisters or friends, how could you clarify, your expectations around confidentiality before you share something that's either vulnerable or something that you consider to be a secret.
See, again, that goes back to knowing who you can trust, right? Because
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
we're not going to when okay, I'm going to use you and I know I can tell you anything,
Right.
and my expectations
Mm-hmm.
are that my sister got my back, right? And that my
Right.
sister's not going to say anything to anybody, including her husband, unless it's
Mm-hmm.
about something really important. And that, again, that's why it
Right.
goes back to knowing who's in your inner circle and who you can really
Mm-hmm.
trust. Because
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
you know someone and someone knows you, you know what the expectations are,
Yeah.
right? Because this is a conversation that's happened before, right? I know what my sister expects
Right.
of me, and she know
Mm-hmm.
what I expect of her. That's what that is. But you have to be in
Yeah.
relationship with someone in order to be able to do
Mm.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also, don't sensitive information without a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Don't share it without prefacing it by saying, now, take this, this is going into the vault. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
This is the vault right here.
Hmm.
Because sometimes that disclaimer may not be given, but there is still the expectation that it's in the
That's
vault.
true.
And
Yeah,
I think that's
that's true.
unfair. And I think that has the potential to ruin friendships and relationships if you don't give that disclaimer up front by saying, okay, this is going to the vault. And this is
Hmm.
not to be shared outside of right here between
Hmm.
me, you, and Jesus, because ain't nobody in the vault
That's
but us
it.
three. That's it. It's just
Yep.
us three
Just
in
us
that
three.
vault. Because
Mhm.
if we don't say it, then we run the risk of that information being shared.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a good point, Val.
Yeah, because you can't trust. I don't think. See, I can trust your judgment in terms of what to share and not share, but I can't say that about everybody that I know.
Right.
To trust their judgment in terms of what to share and what to keep in the vault.
Right. That's why I don't tell folk my business. I don't tell
Exactly.
secrets.
We gotta be careful.
Absolutely. I'll tell my sisters
Yes.
and
Who
my sister Kim.
there's a song. I will. Oh, Alicia Keys. I will keep your secrets. Your secrets are safe with me. I think that's Alicia Keys. I think that's her song. I'm gonna ask John because John has a mad crush on Alicia Keys. So
Really?
yeah. So John, if you're still listening, I think that's Alicia Keys. So I think that I will keep your secrets. Your secrets are safe with me. So
Okay.
yeah. And if anybody, I know we got a couple of people listening out there. If you have any questions about secrecy or privacy or confidentiality, um, just put it in the chat. Just put it in the chat if you have a question or if you have something to share. So, sis,
Mhm.
let's say that there is someone who was listening now or who was listening later. What advice would you offer them if they are currently holding a confidence and it kind of feels heavy, um it feels kind of complex, and they're not sure what to do with it? John said, yeah, that's his girl Alicia Keys. Yeah.
um, I would go back to that person first and let them know
Mm,
I'm uncomfortable with this. Right. This is a heavy burden for me to carry. Um,
yeah, yeah.
being honest with them and letting them know, hopefully encouraging them
Hmm,
to talk
hmm.
about it themselves so that you don't have to tell anybody, right? But that they will do it
Wow.
themselves and let them know that you're there to support them.
Mm,
When they
hmm.
have to do it, but I would definitely have a conversation with that person first because I
Yeah.
don't want to be responsible for carrying something that's going to affect me. right?
Right.
Because if
That's
it
good.
feels heavy, it's now affecting me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And some secrets can feel like that. And
for sure, absolutely,
yeah. So
absolutely.
I agree. Yeah, definitely go back and talk to that person. Yeah.
And
And let them know how you're feeling.
yeah,
And yeah, like you said, encourage them to tell themselves.
absolutely,
Yeah, yeah. And you can even say, listen, like I said to my mother-in-law, I can't keep it.
absolutely.
I'll give you some care,
hmm
but if you don't, I have to.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I
If you
know.
don't, I
Oh
have
yeah,
to.
yeah. The thing is,
Yeah.
we have to be honest with ourselves,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
we have to be honest with that individual,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And that's what you did. Listen, okay, you told me this. I know this. I'm gonna give you some time, but if you don't, I will.
If you don't, I will.
Right? You
Yeah.
were honest about it. You were upfront about it. You
Hmm.
gave
Hmm. Hmm.
people an opportunity, and was like, okay, well, because
Yeah.
you knew it wasn't right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
when something, I'm going to use an old word, vex. When your spirit is
It's
vexed,
vexed. Yeah.
your spirit is uncomfortable. Mm-mm,
Yeah. That's
mm-mm.
very true. Because isn't it ironic? I did that with my mother and my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And don't think that is because I'm a tattletale, y'all. It's just that there are certain things that I believe need to be divulged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Must
But you were
be
honest
divulged.
about it,
I was.
right?
Yeah.
You were honest with them about it. Listen, I don't want to carry this. That's too
Mm-hmm.
much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you the opportunity, but if you don't, I will.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
you were honest with yourself and you were honest with them.
Yeah. True. True.
And that's important because even when somebody tells you a secret, one, I think sometimes we allow ourselves to feel so special, like, ooh, they trust me.
Ah.
They told
Right.
me
Right.
their secret, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we get
Mm-hmm.
caught up in that. And we can lose sight of whether or not um is something that that person needs to share with whomever, and not just put that burden on us.
Mm, yeah. Absolutely. That's good. That's a great point, sis. That is a great, great point. So we are actually finishing a little hour tonight, which is a rare, rare occurrence. But
Very
I'm
good.
gonna put up your very rare. I'm gonna put up your again.
Okay.
Did it show? No, here I am. I'm all frozen again. Talk a little bit about Lifeline Prayer Ministry.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, but you got Instagram spelled wrong too. You see it? Uh-huh.
I do. Well,
Uh-huh. So Lifeline Prayer Ministry, that was something
sorry.
that's we're in 26 now. It's been at least 4 years, 3, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I do know
Mm-hmm.
that the call on my life is to be a prayer warrior. And so I don't really go live on Instagram too often, but I will post stuff. And it's also to encourage, it's just to lift you up. You might be having a bad
Yeah.
moment and come across the post, and it's always to glorify God and just to remind ourselves that no matter what it's like, no matter what we're going through, no matter how
Mm,
bad it seems, that God is always
yeah.
there. And so I want to share
Yes.
Friday was a really bad day for me, people. um,
Mm-hmm.
Work and just some other stuff. And sometimes in life we get to the point where we have to make a conscious decision. Am I going to stay or am I going to go? And that's
Mm-hmm.
what Friday was for me. I've been walking with the Lord for a long time.
Yeah.
But for a minute, it was, do I stay or do I go? And so that's the whole concept of Lifeline Prayer Ministry, the whole idea, because someone else may be in that position, right? And may not be strong enough in that moment to get themselves up out of it, right? To know how to really just cry out to God and break down and say, Lord, I can't do this anymore. And
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
post from me or from someone else could be the one thing that helps that person get through.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, God speaks to us in many different ways.
Yes, he does.
And sometimes it is an Instagram post, or it might be a
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, or it might be on Facebook, or it could be a blog post, or in many, many different ways. As long as
Absolutely.
we don't limit him, well, let me rephrase that. As long as we don't try to put him in a box and
Right.
we try to put limits on him in
Right.
terms of what we will and will not accept in terms of the ways in which he can speak to us, there's no limit.
Right.
There's no limit.
That's very true.
To a billboard. Listen, I'll never forget the night that God spoke to me through a bumper sticker.
Through a what?
A bumper sticker on the car.
Really?
Yes, because I was on my way to do something nefarious, and the bumper sticker said, God allows U-turns.
Woo!
I knew it was him when I read that bumper sticker. I said, I hear you, God, but I'm still going.
Thank God for grace.
Thank you, Jesus, for grace. Thank you,
God
Lord. Woo! Hallelujah.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, God, for grace, because I knew it was him. I knew he was sending me a message, and I knew I should have turned my black butt around and went on back home, but I didn't. But the grace of God.
The grace of God. Yes,
Child,
indeed.
let me tell you something. The grace of God.
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know where we would be without it.
That's one person you can tell everything to, and don't ever have to worry about him telling it to anybody else.
Nah, he ain't gonna tell nobody.
Nope. You can tell God.
Listen, he won't tell anybody, but position things in a way that your secret is uncovered.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
If he needs to give us a dose of humility.
Yes, absolutely, Val.
Yeah, because that can happen. We know that.
Yeah, I know.
We know that. Because can't nobody serve a slice of humble pie like the creator of the universe.
Okay. Girl, that's the truth. I just tell Kim a lot. I do not want a spiritual whooping.
I don't. I know. Yeah. They do hurt.
They hurt.
Yeah. So, yeah. Wow. So anyone who's listening live or later, Lifeline Prayer Ministry on Instagram. So go and check it out. Follow my sister. Do you follow on Instagram? Yeah, you follow on Instagram, and you friend on Facebook, and you follow on TikTok, right? Okay. Because you're on TikTok too.
But not for Lifeline Prayer Ministry.
Okay.
I'm on TikTok for life coaching, Journey on the Inside.
Journey
I haven't really done anything with that yet because I don't understand TikTok. I'm still learning it. I created it. Yeah, but I don't know what I'm doing with this. Well,
listen, neither do I. But listen, what do we always say? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done.
It just has to be done.
Okay.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
I want you to think about that. So anyone listening live or later, I want to thank you as always. And I want to invite you back next week. We're going to be talking about children and mental health. And I have two amazing experts on next week, one of whom will be with us for the very, very first time. Another one of my Mending Hearts colleagues. I know you're all saying Mending Hearts must have just everybody who's anybody and all the best clinicians in all of New Jersey. And you know what? You would be right. You would absolutely be right. So both of the young ladies who's going to be on next week talking about children and mental health are my colleagues at Mending Hearts, and one of them will be with us for the very first time. And I've been wanting her for, as the kids would say, I've been wanting her on for a minute. So I encourage you to come in and tune in next week because, listen, I tell anybody who listen, I do not have the counseling or spiritual oil for children. I just don't have it. That's not me. That's not my
Mhm.
calling. I am couples and I am adults, not children. So I can't speak to that, but I do know that it needs to be spoken to. So I have two individuals coming on next week who can absolutely speak to children and mental health, because don't think just because they're 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 that they can't have some of the same issues and concerns that we adults have. A 6-year-old can have anxiety, a 7-year-old can experience depression. They can
Mhm.
they go through stuff. And yes, children are resilient. However, they're impacted. I have adults now that I'm counseling in their 40s and 50s and 60s who are now dealing with and processing those childhood wounds. So, yes, children not only can be impacted, they are impacted. So, I want to invite you all to come back next week, especially those who are parents of young children, or like myself, grandparents of young children, because we are not responsible for our grandchildren, but we definitely have an influence in their life. And we can
Absolutely.
make a huge, huge difference in the life of our grandchildren. I am a firm, firm believer in that. So come back again next week. I thank you for being here. Jackie, I love you. I love you. I love you.
I
And thank
love
you
you
for
too,
always being
sis.
there for me. Thank you for always supporting me. Thank you for encouraging me. Thank you for praying for me. And girl, thank you for keeping my secrets.
Hello. I love you too, sis. I love you
I love
too.
you.
I love you. Listen, for everybody, make sure that you like,
I love you
subscribe,
all. I'll see you
and
all next
comment.
week.
All right.
Oh, I
I
always
said it.
forget.
I
Yeah.
said it.
Like, subscribe,
I said it.
comment, and share.
Hmm.
Yes, I always forget
Yeah,
that.
I know.
Instagram, Lifeline Prayer Ministry, and Marriage Beyond the Breach. I always forget. I promote everybody, but I don't. I suck at promoting myself, but I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better.
All right.
Okay, y'all. I love you.
All
Have a
right.
great night.
I love you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.